Peace, peace. So quick analysis. And I don't know. This is my. I don't know if it's thoughts that's come to me or just thoughts that's just floating throughout the universe or throughout this matrix. So several movies that tie together. Dune. Prior to the Great War, in Dune there was a war against the machines, right? And machines rebelled against human beings. Before I believe Paul's son, who became the emperor, who merged himself with the sandworms, right? And I think he was a ruler for like a couple thousand years. And then after he passed away, that's when it was a great expansion where human beings went all to different parts of the galaxy to pretty much colonize different planets, right? Find different planets, right? Thus, because I think he had banned space travel, and then space travel was authorized again because he had passed away, right? But if you think about the Matrix, in the Matrix, human beings are the food source or the source to energy for the machines. So think about that. You have the Dune, which is talking about the war with machines, right? When the machines turned against human beings, and then if you want to, you can connect the Terminator thing too. Is the same thing. Artificial intelligence turning against human beings, right? And then the Matrix. The Matrix, human beings are the source to energize the machines. Everything is artificial intelligence against human beings. Now, Agent Smith, right? I'm trying to break him down. If you listen to it's gonna get a little religious too, because they put a little religious stuff in there too, mythology. Agent Smith is talking to Neo in the interview room or the interrogation room, whatever, right? He calls him by his government, which is, I don't know what his middle name is. They never said his middle name, but we know Neo as his nickname, right? Or his hacker name, right? Yeah, I don't want to lose my thought. Yeah, so they call him Thomas Anderson, Thomas Anderson, and he sat down. He opened up the he opened up almost like a book, but he opened up the file, and he said, "You've been living two lives, Thomas and the Son." All right, meaning that he's the one, the Messiah. They try to sneak in that the one, right? They try to sneak in that mythology stuff. But when he addresses him, whenever he says "and the Son," meaning that he's addressing him as the Messiah as opposed to addressing him as Thomas, which would be like going back to the Bible, the doubting Thomas. When the Creator, when what is known as Jesus said, "Thomas, don't be doubtful. Don't doubt God. Don't put doubt in your heart. Be faithful." All right. So that's why you see Neo sometimes in the movie. He was doubtful, especially like when he made the jump and then he went to go see the Oracle and he didn't think he was the one. All right, the doubting Thomas. But Anderson, whenever Agent Smith was calling him Anderson, he was addressing him as the Messiah. That's why even in the interrogation room, you hear him, his energy was different. Right? That's when he was like, "I know my rights. I'm going to give you the finger, and I need my phone call." And you think about the Matrix, it was a phone call that people needed to escape. But anytime he addressed him as Anderson, if you notice, his energy is different. If he calls him Thomas, then his energy is different. But when he calls him Anderson, Mr. Anderson, and the Son, then his energy is different. So in one sense, he's addressing the human side of him, when he calls him Thomas, but when he calls him Anderson, he's addressing him as his higher self. He's addressing him as the Messiah, the One, the Son of the Creator, stuff like that, right? So that's a little quick breakdown for y'all. But so it's Dune during the war with the humans and the machines. That's why you didn't see no machines in the Dune movie like that, because they realized artificial intelligence was a stupid idea. When human beings are far more intelligent than artificial intelligence, and human beings invented artificial intelligence. So why would you need artificial intelligence, right? And then Paul's son became the emperor. He merged himself with the sandworms. He had banned space travel, right? There was no more spice. And then after he passed away, he foreseen his death. When he passed away, that's when the great expansion happened, and everybody went out to colonize and be able to travel space again, right? All these movies tying together. Then you have the Terminator, then you have the Matrix, right? All these movies tying together. A few more movies tying together too. It's like a big puzzle. To be honest with you, I'm gonna figure it out. It's coming to me slowly. But yeah, that's the code. Agent Smith. And then another thing that was weird to me about Agent Smith, right? Agent Smith said he's a program. He said that he hates being in the Matrix. How can a program know the emotional aspect of hating? Unless when he would like hop into different they said they were hardwired so they could hop into different bodies, kind of like in the movie, and this is going back to the religious stuff, like in the movie Fallen with Denzel Washington, right? And that demon Beelzebub, I think, how he could jump into different bodies, but he couldn't jump into certain bodies, right? But he could jump into certain bodies. So every time they jump into a body going to the Matrix, maybe they started to develop some type of emotional connection, because machines are not supposed to be emotional. So maybe that's when the machine aspect of them became like more, I guess, in a humane sense, but not in a sense where they were like showed sympathy or anything like that, but they just became emotional, right? And then you heard him talk about how mammals and this and that, and he's saying how the first Matrix was supposed to be perfect, but nobody liked it. He said that people like to be in misery and all that. Now, I have to debunk that. I'm going to be speaking as a human being, being in this Matrix realm, planet, dimension, whatever they want to call this thing, right? Being in misery is not fun. It's not cool. The people that's in war-torn countries, I don't think they're going to say, I think I'd rather be in this than be in paradise or being in a peaceful environment, or I could have sustainable drinking water and a roof over my head and food, and not be bombarded with chemicals and poisons and toxins and vaccines, and right? Truth, facts, reality, non-fiction, right? Or people that's in other countries right now that's starving, right? But then he was saying that human beings reproduce and then they deplete all the resources. Another debunking. I have to debunk that as well. The only way sources can be I can say used up or washed up is if there's no knowledge in how it's being done, right? If everybody plays a role in say the reproduction of resources, i.e. food or fruits and vegetables and things like that, and then you don't have to necessarily what's the word? You don't have to confine everybody to an area. Everybody can spread out, right? As opposed to, like, say, people being in a city, people like to be like in a what's the word? I can't even say it. People be like living in the countryside or in they're not living in the city. They're not being confined to a city. A city to me is like pretty much is like is a sweatshop, right? You're just there to work and that's it. You're not really around nature that much. You're not really around nature. You're not. You really don't get a chance to really chill and meditate and soak up the environment, because you're just around bricks and irons, and like you hardly see trees in certain cities. Like It's just tall skyscrapers. It looks like a machine world when you think about it. All right. Um, yeah, but if everybody's spread out and everybody utilizes the planet, like let's be honest, this planet is not being fully utilized. If it was, there would be no lack of resources. If everybody has a large plot of land, which is possible, because we have more than enough room on this planet to go around, all right? Everybody has their own plot of land where they can farm their own animals and grow their own vegetables. Nobody can go hungry. Truth, facts, reality, nonfiction. It wouldn't even be possible. Right? But you see what it is. It goes back to the sociopath and the psychopath leadership that you have on this planet. And that is why they have to go. Because they want to control you. So they want to control the food source. They want to control everything that's coming in and out of cities, towns, right? They want to be your God. They want you to worship them. Going back to V for Vendetta. We're going to make them want us. We're going to make them need us. That's a sadist person. That's a psychopath. That's a sociopath. I don't know if you guys realize that. These are your leaders. This is what they're saying behind closed doors. It's nice in the movie that they actually show you what these people really be saying, what they're talking about. And in the movie, I think they released the virus that was killing people. Right? So this is the world. This is your matrix. This is what you're dealing with. Right? These are your Agent Smiths. Agent Smith are these world leaders of sweatshops, the creators of discrimination, segregation, racism, slavery. They're all Agent Smiths. And the architect is Lucifer, the devil, Satan. Okay? Truth, facts, reality, nonfiction. If you ever seen a forest burn, when it grows back, it's something amazing. I would go into a whole bunch of science about the forest fires out there in California, but then it go leading to a bunch of UFO stuff, and I don't want to. I already sci-fi'd you guys out. Hey man, y'all be good. It's the kid, man.